Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We have another NBA slate to talk about today. We have some good games on here. We have some not so good games on here, and we'll go through every single one of them. Before we do anything, guys, we do have to pick a winner from our last video to get a free month of VIP. You guys know how this goes. If we get 250 likes in this video, I will pick a random comment down from the comments to win a free month. So drop a comment, leave a like. You got to be a subscriber to win. If you're not subscribed, hit that sub button. And let's go ahead and pick our winner from our last video. So the winner is going to be for Tashid Honda, who said, let's go. Well, Tashid, send me a message on Discord. I will get you added for that free month of VIP. I appreciate the love and support from every single one of you guys. And they said, let's go. I'm looking at yesterday's bet tracker. So this is how my bets have been going lately. They have not been going too well. Player props have been terrible lately. Lots of hooks. Very close to cashing every slip, and they all barely miss. And then we have money lines the last 3 days not going the greatest. So we're on a little bit of a losing streak. Yesterday, we had a great day for the money lines. The two bets that I had in yesterday for this was Pistons and Magic parlay. Then I had Oakland for college basketball -2.5. So I'm going to show those two slips here. Here's the first one. I had Orlando plus the Pistons. I put $500 on this slip, put 2 units for plus money, and I profited $565. So a nice little dub here over on Thunder Pick. And then I had this play over on the Prizepicks prediction market, which was 250 to win 438. Oakland wins by 2.5 points. Yes, so Oakland -2.5, and that did end up cashing us here. So up so far this month, $4,600 on our money line, so been going pretty well. We look at us for the last 2 months. We have a 63% hit rate with a $9,600 profit margin on the money lines alone. Now, not parlay play. Parlay play has been pretty rough on me lately. Parlay play has been given these promos, and the promos have been struggling really, really bad. And I'm talking both play. I think like 9 of the last 10 plays that I've missed on parlay play has been because the promo has missed. So unless I see promos that I actually really like, you're going to see me fade those from now on. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there because these apps are getting very, very selective on who they give promos to and which promos they give, like which props they're selecting. Like if it's a player that kills the rebounds and assists, they give the points prop for that player. I've noticed that a lot. So we're going to be very selective about that. Like I said, we're doing really well in the money lines. Hopefully we can continue doing that. We got over that little losing hump. Yesterday's profit made up for the 2 losing days prior to that. So far we're doing very, very good this month. If you're not in the Discord, highly recommend you guys join. If you guys do want to get every single money line, you get every single player prop as well. The player props will turn around. We're not going to continue losing on player props, I promise. And you guys can get it there through our WAP. So the WAP page is down in the description, $10 a week or $25 a month. You get every single play I post. And you guys can get 20% off using code NBA. So if you want to do that, like I said, links down in the description. Our Discord is free to join. If you want to join the Discord, just click the link to the Discord down in the description as well, and we can get you guys in. But that being said, let's go ahead and talk about this NBA slate. We do have NFL tomorrow, so expect an early video for NFL later today, and hopefully I can get that probably by this afternoon. If your boy's about to sneeze, hopefully that sneeze doesn't happen because I don't feel like sneezing. But anyways, jumping into game 1 on the slate, we have Pelicans versus Pacers. Now, we have 2 teams that can barely get a win to save their lives. Now, this game is one of my favorite games on the slate. In Indiana, Indiana is -146 underdogs, or favorites, 3.5 on the spread, and a 238.5 total. So a decently high-scoring total. Money is pretty close to even. You got slightly more money on the Pacers side of things, and you got a lot of money on the under 238.5 total. Looking at these 2 teams, injury news is what we need to look at first. So the Pelicans are missing Jose Alvarado, Herbert Jones, and DeJounte Murray. Still, Indiana is missing Isaiah Jackson for rest, Benedict Mathurin, and then Obi Toppin, and as well as Tyrese, who's out for the rest of the season. We already knew that coming into this season. So this is going to be a game that should be competitive. Neither team very good. 23% win rate for the Pelicans, 22% for the Pacers. Neither of these teams have much going on right now. I will say the Pacers have won 3 of their last 4. They found a nice little stride. They're playing at home. This could be a spot for the Pacers to get them a win. But the Pelicans are coming off a win versus the Nets. This Pelicans team can beat mid teams. They can't beat good teams, but they can beat mid teams. Not Jose. Trey Murphy has stepped it up as of lately. One of the core players I've been looking at the last few games. He cashed me out big time last game. This game, I'm expecting the same thing versus Indiana. Obviously, you can look at Fears. You can look at Sadiq Bey. There's not really anybody on this starting five lineup that I would be like, nah, just don't take them. Zion is somebody that I'm not trusting anymore because Zion's burned me too many times. Derek Queen is the same way. I'm not going to look at either of these two personally, but in reality, either of those players could pop off any game, so they're never a bad play in terms of taking for a prop. But I'm looking at Trey Murphy here. He's one of my core players. He's been popping off as of lately. He's probably going to be a popular play, so keep a lookout on that. If he gets too popular, then maybe not playing him is the best move. On the Indiana side of things, I'm looking at Pascal Siakam. I'm looking at Andrew Nembhard. I think Nembhard could be some good. I think we got a good little correlation here with Siakam points, Nembhard assists, which we'll go over that here in just a minute. But like those two players the most. Naismith's also good to take versus this Pelicans team, in my opinion. For that game, picking a winner. For plus money, I don't mind running the Pelicans. The Pacers have looked better as of lately in terms of being a complete team, but I'm okay with taking the Pelicans here for plus 144. I think Pelicans have a good shot at winning this game. I think this game is literally very close to coin flip. If you wanted to play Pelicans plus 3.5 and buy them on a teaser or something and get 8.5 on the Pelicans, I think that's a very good play, and I might end up doing that myself. But that's what I'm running with. Next game on the slate, we have a rematch between the Cavs and the Sixers. Now, they just played the last game. The Cavs blew the Sixers out. Taking a look at these two teams, Philly's still favored at home. Minus 126 favorites, 2.5 spread, 233.5 total, so a high-scoring total. Money pretty much split down the middle on the money line, slightly favored for Philly, covering the spread, and then a lot of money on the under on this total. Taking a look at these two teams, you can see the Cavs have looked okay lately. They've lost 3 of their last 10 games, so not bad. You look at Philly has won 3 of their last 5, so they haven't been horrible. They lost to the Raptors by 1 point. Then they got beat pretty bad by Cleveland the last game. So another game versus the Nuggets, losing by a point. So had some rough losses here. The last game was a loss that I didn't expect to happen. I didn't think they'd get beat that bad anyway. I expected a very close game, but I think they could potentially get revenge here. Now, the thing about Cleveland right now is they're missing Garland tonight, missing Chris Livingston, Sam Merrill's out, Max Strus is out, and Dean Wade is out. So they're missing a lot of players. Looking at Philly, you got a questionable Dominic Barlow. You got You got Joel Embiid, who is probable, and then you got Paul George, who is also probable. So Embiid and Paul George should play. Not sure about Barlow, but I'm not super worried about Barlow personally. If he sits, I don't think that it's going to be the biggest difference in this game, but I'm not a Philly diehard fan, so if there's anything I'm missing, you can let me know. Not that I think he's not an asset to the team. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's not like a Embiid or Maxey or somebody sitting. So, anyways, I think this team has a good chance at winning this game with an injured Cleveland. At minus 127 at home, I'm honestly leaning towards Philly. So, give me the Sixers here. Give me Sixers money line. I'm not going to touch the spread here, but this game could legitimately go either way, and Cleveland is a very good team. If they play like they should play, then this team's hard to beat. So, Cleveland for plus money is never a bad play either. Third game on the slate we have is the Bulls versus the Nets. You got Brooklyn minus 113 favorites at home, 1.5 spread, 225.5 total. Even odds down the middle where the money is at. Looking at these two teams, the Nets are on a 5-game loss streak. They've only won 1 of their last 9 games. That was versus the Nuggets. Struggling to find a dub. They're playing at home. Going against a weak Bulls team. The Bulls coming off of a very close win versus the Jazz. This Bulls team's not very good right now. They have not played great. Now, they've had some stretches in here. It's been okay, but as of lately, they've been struggling slightly, and the main reason is they're missing so many players. Zach Collins remains out this game. Josh Giddey is still out. Kevin Huerter's probable here. You got Yuki, who is out, and you got Julian Phillips is questionable. So many players on this team missing. The team actually winning any of these games lately with all these players out is surprising to me. But this is a game that could really go either way. Brooklyn's almost fully healthy. You got Zaire Williams, who is out. Highsmith is still out. But other than that, they're pretty much fully healthy. I think this is a game where Brooklyn could really get a win. Money's, like I said, kind of split down the middle, so there's not like it's not like a super popular play in one direction. I'm leaning towards the Nets here. I think Michael Porter Jr. can carry this team enough versus this Bulls team to actually to get them a dub tonight. So they're due for a win. They've been playing pretty ugly, but I think they can get it here tonight. Give me the Nets at minus 113 versus this Bulls team, but another game that's really hard to call. And if the Bulls win, if you think the Bulls win, take the Bulls. I'm not against that play at all. I just think I'm leaning Nets. Next game on the slate, Clippers versus Raptors. Toronto plus 117 at home. I was about to talk about where the money's at. We'll talk about that in a second. So Toronto plus 117, 1.5 spread, 215.5 total. 95% of the money on Clippers money line. 79% on Clippers minus 1.5. So much money on the Clippers. I do not have a dog in this fight until injury news comes out. I'm not even going to pick a team until the injury news comes out. Clippers, we already know, have looked absolutely phenomenal lately. Out of their last 20 games, they've only lost like 2, and that's not 20, I know, but it's very close. It's like 15 or 16 games. They've only lost 2 games. 4-game win streak. Looking at the Raptors have won a lot of games lately, too. They're winning a majority of their games, 60% win rate on the season. Both of these teams, well, I'm not going to say both these teams all season will look good because the Clippers started out looking like absolute dog shit, but now they look very good. So this Clippers will be 500 for sure. This Clippers team has found their stride. Now, for this game, you have Bradley Beal out. Well, he's out for the season. I don't even know why I'm speaking about these players that we've known was going to be out for the rest of the season anyway. But you got Bogdanovich still out. John Collins is questionable. Derek Jones is out. Kawhi Leonard is questionable. And Zubac is questionable. So Kawhi and Zubac are the two that really matter a lot. Collins matters a lot too. So all 3 of these players, 3 of their starting 5, questionable. You have to wait until these players are ruled in. Unless you have some inside knowledge about whether they're playing or not, then you have to really wait to be able to take a chance on this game. Same thing for the Raptors. RJ Barrett is still out. Jamison Battle's doubtful. Chucky Hepburn is out. Sandro is questionable. Pirtle is still out. Emmanuel Quickley is questionable. Garrett Temple is questionable. Jacoby Walter is questionable. This team has so many players out, 3 questionable players and 1 doubtful player. You really can't lock in a game like this until you see the injury news. If Quickley plays, Kawhi and Zubac sit, give me the Raptors. If Quickley sits, Kawhi and Zubac play, give me the Clippers. That's kind of how I'm looking at here. Injury news in this game is going to be massive. Neither team are on a back-to-back, so there's no worries there. But I really have to wait till I see what happens with these players before I'm able to make an actual judgment on who I think wins this game. Looking at the next game, another good game, a very playoff-style game. We got Houston taking on Minnesota. Now, the problem with this game is the Rockets are on a back-to-back. So Rockets are minus 150, 4.5-point spread. 222.5 total. 78% of the money is going to be on the Rockets. 54% of the money on the Rockets covering the spread. Looking at these two teams as of lately, the Timberwolves have looked like the Timberwolves should look. This Timberwolves team is one of my favorite teams in terms of overall how they play. I really do like this Timberwolves team. I've been strong on them all season. They've won, 8 of the last 10 games or so, something like that. So they've been looking very strong. They are missing Anthony Edwards again, and they're missing Terrence Shannon. So Ant-Man being out is the biggest issue for this team. And we'll talk about how they've looked without Ant-Man here in just a second. Looking at the Rockets are potentially missing Terry Eason. He's questionable. Dorian Finney-Smith is actually questionable this game. And then you got Fred VanVleet, who is out. This Houston team has looked good. Now, they got beat pretty bad by OKC last night. I don't know how many minutes their starters played. We'll check real quick. So, 32 minutes for Sengun. So, Sengun coming off an injury. He's on a back-to-back. I'm pretty sure he's going to play 30-plus minutes again. But this team being on a back-to-back worries me. So, it does worry me slightly. I think the Rockets are going to win, but I don't like betting against this Minnesota team. It's just Minnesota without Ant-Man scares me. But let's check this real quick. Without Anthony Edwards, how has Minnesota looked? They have won 63% of their games. You look at them on the road, they have not lost a game on the road. Now, has the caliber of opponent been that strong? They just blew Milwaukee out, beat them by 33. So that was a very shocking win for me. They beat Golden State. I'm not sure who was sitting in Golden State. Curry and Draymond could be out. Butler could have been out that game. Who knows? But they beat Charlotte and beat the Nets. So those games don't count as much to me as these two. These two are nice wins. Overall, played pretty well without Ant-Man. So, do I think that they can't get this win? No, I do not think they can. I think they can potentially win, yes. They're plus 156. The odds are not that bad. But I think this Rockets team versus Timberwolves team fully healthy in Houston favors the Rockets. I think in Minnesota, it's coin flip. I think the Rockets team's I'm not going to say better, but It's close. Both these teams are very good. I got to roll with the Rockets. Even though they're on a back-to-back, I think that they're going to beat this Timberwolves team. I'm not super confident on that one. My mind may change on that one. I may potentially take Minnesota spread instead of taking Houston money line. I'm not 100% what kind of bet that I want to place on this game. Picking a winner, I'm going to roll with the Rockets in Houston. Even though they're on a back-to-back, give me the Rockets. That's just kind of what I'm thinking. And like I said, they got beat at home last night by OKC, got beat pretty bad. I'm thinking this game will be very competitive. Last game on the slate we have is going to be the Kings versus the Wizards. You got the Kings minus 245 favorites at home, which is crazy when it's Sacramento. Minus 7.5 on the spread and a 233.5 total. 80% of the money on Kings money line, 56% on them covering the spread. Do I trust this Kings team? Not even in the slightest. They have won 3 games. They just beat the Knicks. They beat the Lakers, and then they beat the beat the Rockets. So this team has looked good. It's hard for me to trust the Kings. I'm going to be honest. Now, Sabonis is questionable this game. Keegan Murray's out. Isaiah Stevens is out. If Sabonis plays, he's going to be limited most likely, but the team is not that bad when Sabonis plays. They have an okay starting 5. Looking at Washington, they're missing Kalibli, they're missing Middleton, they're missing Tristan Vukcevic, they're missing Whitmore, and they're missing Trae Young. So, missing a lot of players on the Washington team. Is Washington very good? No, they're not very good. They have a 26% win rate for a reason. Missing a lot of players. This team's one of the worst in the league. Very hard for me to trust them. Do I think the Kings win? Yes, I think the Kings win, but at minus 245, I don't trust them to win like that. So, if I had to bet money on one, I'm still taking the Kings. But if you played Washington plus 245, I wouldn't think that's stupid. That's just my personal opinion. So if you have any bone in your body that's like, I think Washington wins, then I'd probably just take Washington for plus 200. That's just where I'm at on that play. But that's what I got for those games, guys. Lots of player props that I do like today. Before we jump into these player props and lock in these slips live, I do want to say if you want to sign up for any partnered app in the description, you can get a free month of VIP for each one that you sign up for. The one that I'm pushing a lot right now is Parlay Play. Parlay Play will give you $5 for free if you sign up with our code Fantasy Aces. They also will double your first deposit up to $100, and you get free VIP. Lots of promos on Parlay Play. All of these are promos if you want to sign up and get them all for today. They do that every single day on every single slate. They're going to have a lot of NFL promos this weekend, so highly recommend signing up for Parlay Play. But you can sign up for any app down in the description. There's 7 apps. You get a month of VIP for each app you sign up for. You just have to make a minimum deposit. So you could deposit $10. They're going to double every single deposit, and you're going to get a month for each one. So you can get 7 full months for free. The last app I am going to push for you guys is going to be called Upside Tools. Upside's an optimizer. I've been using it quite a bit lately. What it does is it finds the best value across apps. For example, Jaden Higgins right here, over 5.5 targets, 59.8% hit rate. I think this is the highest hit rate I've seen yet, but it's going based off of where the odds are. So the odds on underdog for this play is minus 336, which means on Prizepicks, the odds here are far better than they are on underdog, which is why it's saying play it on Prizepicks, a 60% chance to hit. Very, very good platform for finding plays like this. You can see RJ Harvey here under 14 rushing attempts. You can see where it's at on other sites, what the odds are on all these sites, and it tells you what the hit rate on Prizepicks should be based off of these odds. But anyways, if you want to sign up, you can get 5 days for free. Code ACES down in the description. You get 25% off your first month as well if you guys do decide to try it out. Upside Tools, link down in the description. Let's go ahead and jump into these picks, guys. A little sip of my energy drink / coffee. And let's talk about what I gave last game. So, I'm going to pull a slip up that I gave in the last video, and we're going to talk about greed. And we're going to talk about why you should never be greedy on picks. All right. This is the slip that I gave you guys in the last video, if it'll load and not give me a blank screen. Okay, well, not sure about this one. I'm going to try to reopen this. Really, man? Okay, we're going to do it this way then. We're going to drag the Discord over. So this is what I posted in Discord. We locked it in live on YouTube. We had Pascal Siakam, we had Michael Porter Jr., and then we had Tyrese Maxey. Now, when we were making this slip in the YouTube video, we had Siakam and Porter Jr. in a slip for a 1.77x slip. And I strictly said, all right, guys, the payout on this is very low. You know what? I think I can get this to a double up or 1.9x, and we can have us a very nice play here by playing a square that should be free. So I went and found what I thought, in quotes here, was a free play, which was Tyrese Maxey for 17.5 points. Maxey is good for 18 points 99% of games. We went and looked at the history. He cashed 95% of games on the season. It was a play that I would have risked a lot of money on if I could have got even odds, and I would have lost my money because Siakam cashed, Michael Porter Jr. cashed, Maxey had 14 points. So it was a blowout loss. I don't even think it came back in the fourth quarter. It is what it is. Now, let's talk about what the lesson learned here. I even said, if I put Maxey on this slip and get greedy over a couple of extra, like a 0.15x on a slip, it's my own fault and I'm stupid. And that's exactly what I did. So I don't know if you guys have heard that song, Baby, Don't Get Greedy. That's what she's talking about, man. She's talking about your parlays. She's talking about putting Maxey on the slip when you shouldn't. I could have profited $200 on this slip, but I got greedy instead and lost an extra $250. So that's all I'm going to say, guys. There are some three-mans here that I'm going to play, and we'll talk about the odds on them here in a minute. But in terms of getting greedy, if you find yourself in a spot where you find a slip you like, and you're like, I could just add a little bit more to it, don't add a little bit more. That's what I'm going to say. I learned this lesson a long time ago. Decided I was going to try it again, and you saw what happened to me. So that was a mistake on my part, and it won't happen again. I do have a three-man slip as well as a two-man slip that we're about to lock in, and let's go ahead and talk about them. So the first pick on this slate that I want to lock in is going to be Trey Murphy. I told you guys Trey Murphy, and actually I'm running a game stack for this game. So you got the Pelicans and the Pacers. All three plays on this slip are going to be from the Pelicans and the Pacers, and the first play that I have likes Trey Murphy for 18 points. This is the prop that he's cashed 9 of 10 games. 9 of his last 10. He's averaging 27 points over his last 10 games. If you look at his last 6 games, dude has 4 games of his last 6 over 30 points. One of them was over 40 points, and the other 2 were mid-30s. So he's looked very, very good. 74% hit rate on the season. Head-to-head doesn't look that great versus Indiana, but you also have to look at field goal attempts. So last game versus Indiana, the only game this season versus the Pacers, he had 8 field goal attempts. Last 10 games, he's averaging 18 field goal attempts, with 3 of his last 5 games being more than 20 shots per game. And this is with Zion playing. So very, very high usage as of lately. Going against a team that has one of the weakest points defense in the league. If you go to the guard position, same story. So the small forward position, they have a decent defense, but we're good to go, man. I like this matchup for our man Trey Murphy. I expected him to give us 18 points. I ran this his last game. He cashed it very, very easy. I just happened to pair this with the Knicks. So I played this with Knicks money line on Bovada, and the Knicks got beat when they were minus 500 favorites to the Kings. So unlucky. It sucks. It is what it is. But Trey Murphy for 18 points, I'm willing to take a chance here. So let's pull him up. So 1.26x. So yeah, we're going to need a couple of pairs with this to get us a nice payout. But let's talk about that. So Trey Murphy, I'm locking in. The second pick on this slip that I liked was Siakam. I like Siakam for that same prop. So this is the one where I'm kind of buying a play down to boost the payout. And I'm talking about the greed here. I had planned on doing this before, so I'm not going to consider this greed because of where the payout ends up being. It's like a 1.8x. You kind of have to do that to be able to get this play to be playable. And I'll show you. I like Siakam for 17.5 points, 83% hit rate, averaging 83% on the season. Obviously, lead scorer for this team, averaging 18 field goal attempts per game on the season. You look at him his last 10, he's averaging right at 20. He's cashed just 9 of his last 10 games, averaging 25 points per game. Siakam has been a beast. They're going against the Pelicans. The Pelicans have the 3rd worst defense in the league. Give up 122 points. It's a fast-paced game. They're playing in Indiana. I can go on all day about why I think Pascal Siakam has a good game. You can play points, you can play PRA, you can play whatever you want. I like Siakam a lot today. They're not in a back-to-back, playing at home. Like I've already said that. Minus 660 odds for him to get 18 points. So that's what I'm going to play. Now, before we do that, if I played, for example, Nembhard is the 3rd pick. It's this payout boost, which I like. It's a 1.61x. So you cannot run this slip without Siakam, which is why you have to have Siakam here. So it's not that I'm getting greedy. It's that I have to reach the threshold for this slip. And this puts us at a 1.8x. So we're keeping the payout low. This is going to be $205 profit if I put 1 unit on it. So Trey Murphy, Andrew Nembhard, Pascal Siakam. Let's pull Nembhard up. Why do you like Nembhard? So he is boosted. 5.5 assists for Nembhard is not that high. Let's take a look. His original line, 7.5 for a reason at even odds. 5.5. He's cashed 9 of 10 games. He has 3 games here out of his last 10 where he has 11 plus. 11, 11, 16. The other games, 8, 9, 9, 7, 6, 6. He had 1 game where he had 2 assists. On the season, he's cashed this almost 80%. Head-to-head data, 1 of his last 2. He has 1 game this season versus the Pelicans, which he did not get that hit that line. He had 12 potential assists, 13 potential assists this game. People just didn't make their shots. He's averaging 13.1 potential assists on the season, and some of these games aren't even counting. So when you look at overall, he's getting a lot of potential assists. He's going to set up some plays. Playing Siakam's points with Nembhard assists is a nice little correlated play. I think that this cashes, and I like this slip a lot. So I'm going to lock in Nembhard here. 80% hit rate on the season. I'm willing to put my money on it, and let's lock him in. So I like all three of these plays a lot. This is one of the few boosts they've given that I've actually looked at and been like, I really like that play. So let's lock it in. Place. Got it locked in here. We're going to go to track picks. We're going to refresh the page, and we're going to take a look at what we have here. So we have Pascal Siakam, we have Andrew Nembhard, we have Trey Murphy, 250 to win 455, and we got it locked in. Tell it if you like it. Fade it if you don't. Next slip that we're going to lock in. This one I'm going to look at the value on Prizepicks versus parlay play, and we'll lock in where it's the best. So the first pick is going to be for our man Michael Porter Jr. I'm taking MPJ, our wagon. He chalked us last time. He did. He had a game. I told you, a bad game. I told you guys, I don't care if Porter chalks me 3 games in a row. He has been a wagon. He's cashed me like 18 of the last 19 times I've taken him. And it's not even an exaggeration, like legitimately. So Porter Jr., even if he chalks again today, I'm not going to look at him like, okay, we got to start fading Porter Jr. But I'm taking his points and rebounds today. So it's PR, 29.5, decent payout. He's cashed 8 of his last 10 games, averaging 34 points and rebounds per game on the season. Or on his last 10, I mean. He's averaging 33 on the season with a 71% hit rate. Head-to-head, he has 1 game versus the Bulls this season. He had 43, 10 boards and 33 points. So very, very good matchup for more Porter Jr. If you look at the Bulls, they have one of the worst point defenses in the league, and they have one of the worst rebound defense in the league as well. So to give him a ton of boards and a ton of points, if you look at it versus small forward position, we can take a look over here. 13th in points, 28th in rebounds. Now, if you ever see a team versus Porter, and they don't give up that many points or to the position or whatever, it doesn't worry me at all because this guy's going to take 20 to 25 field goal attempts per game. You got some games, he got 25 here. He averages 18.7 on the season. Look at his last 10, he's averaging 19.4 field goal attempts. He's putting up shot volume. This is a fast-paced game versus the Bulls. Like, he's going to put up the shot volume for sure. This game could go either way. It's going to be competitive. It should not be a blowout. If it's a blowout, I'm going to be upset, but National Blowout Association has happened a lot lately, so that is definitely a concern here. But Porter Jr. should cash this out, 29.5 points and rebounds. I'm not super worried about in terms of his hit rate. One of my more confident plays on the slate, and I'm willing to put my money on him again. So Porter Jr., 1.3x for points and rebounds. Who are we going to pair him with? And I'm fairly certain this was a 1.4x a minute ago, which means my slip may not pay out what I'm hoping it pays out. So I'm running with Brandon Ingram. Now, I was looking at Ingram to begin with. I was looking at Ingram points and PRA, and the boost popped up. So they gave us this boost to 1.36x compared to his 1.28x on PRA. I like Ingram PRA better. You can't play this slip. With his points, it's 1.75x on the dot. This was a 1.85 a minute ago. This is going to be tough to play. I'm going to have to lock this in before payout changes on this because if not, I'm not going to be able to play this. This was the higher paying slip of the two a minute ago. They nerfed our boy Porter Jr.'s points and rebounds payout. So you guys can see I locked it in. I'll just refresh. I did lock it in, Ingram with Porter Jr., 250 to win 437. That's a 1.75x on the dot. If you don't want to play that low of a payout, you can add something else and get greedy. I'm not doing that. I learned my lesson. If Ingram misses, it is what it is. I like this slip a lot. So we're going to pull Brandon Ingram up. Last play on the slate. You guys, or last play for the video, I mean, you guys know that Ingram's been kind of a wagon. His points line, I don't like as much as his PRA. I'm going to be honest. He's cashed 5 of his 10, his last 10. He's cashed 65% on the season. This is one of those games where they're missing RJ Barrett. They're missing Jakob Poeltl, potentially Emmanuel Quickly. Last game, Quickly sat, he dropped 30 points. And we can just go ahead and look on the season. Without player, we can go without RJ and without Poeltl. He's cashed 5 of 9 games, averages 21 points per game, whatever. Take Quickly out, he has 1 game on the season with one where he dropped 30 points. So lots of usage for our man Ingram. He had 23 shot attempts his last game. He should cash pretty easily if Quickly sits. Even if Quickly plays, Ingram's good for 20, especially when RJ's out. So I'm expecting him to have a good game. We'll see what happens with the injury news here. Regardless, I'm going to be locking it in, and it's locked in. So I like Ingram for 20. Lock it in if you like it. Fade it if you don't. Let's go ahead and check it on Prizepicks. It might be better on Prizepicks. I kind of jumped the gun here and locked that in. Let's see. Ingram for 19.5, and then we paired it with Porter Jr., points and rebounds. If we can find that. 29.5 to 1.6x. So yeah, it's a way better value on Prizepicks or parlay play I'm in. So sign up for parlay play using code Fantasy Aces. Lock in these slips. I'm pretty sure they're going. I think they're going green tonight, man. I've said that the last couple of videos, but I like these slips a lot. So hopefully luck goes our way. Hope you guys have an awesome day. Hope you guys cash every slip. Join our Discord if you're not in there already. If you have any questions about anything, I'll help you out in any way that I can. But I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see y'all in the next one.